Good evening and welcome to Hope TV News Watch on this 28th day of June 2021. Just hours to the due day of the BBI appeal hearing at the Appellate Court in Nairobi. Stay tuned as I bring you this and much more. My name is Dickens Luvanda. At the bottom end of your screen is my sign language interpreter, Boniface Mureithi. All is set for the BBI ruling at the appeal court on the BBI, which is set to kick off tomorrow on Tuesday, the 29th day of June to July 2nd at the Court of Appeal. The President of the Court of Appeal, Daniel Musinga, already constituted a 7-judge bench to hear the Building Bridges BBI initiative appeal case following a High Court decision that termed the entire process null and void. Alice Diana starts our bulletin tonight with this report.
For the next 4 days, beginning June 29th to July 2nd, all eyes will be glued to the Appellate Court, with Kenyans waiting to know the fate of the Building Bridges Initiative BBI. A 5-judge bench of the High Court on May 13th ruled against the BBI process, terming it as unconstitutional, null and void, a move that saw proponents of the process led by President Uhuru Kenyatta and the BBI Secretariat file an appeal.
As law-abiding leaders, we respect the decision of the court, but we don't agree with it. Consequently, we are setting up a legal team to look into and appeal the ruling.
Everyone knows that the BBI is good. It's good for our country. It is even good for those people who are unhappy with it. But too many Kenyans have embraced fear of change over the need to continuously strive for a more fair, just, peaceful, cohesive, and democratic Kenya.
A 7-judge bench comprising the Court of Appeal President Daniel Musinga and Justices Roslyn Nambuye, Hannah Okwengu, Patrick Kiage, Gatembu Kairu, Fatuma Sichale, and Francis Toyot is set to hear the appeal. President Kenyatta and his handshake partner ODM leader Raila Odinga have lined up a team of 6 lawyers led by Attorney General Kihara Kariuki to argue in support of the BBI process at the Appellate Court, with hopes of dismantling the High Court ruling and allow BBI reggae to stay on. Other lawyers in Uhuru Raila team include Solicitor General Kennedy Ogeto, former BBI Joint Secretary Paul Mwangi, members of the BBI Committee of Experts Professor Ben Sihanya, Professor Kibe Mungai, and City Lawyer Jackson Awele. For Hope TV News Watch, I'm Alice Diana.
Still on BBI, Court boss Francis Atoli now says that the tribalism has contributed to the Building Bridges Initiative BBI being challenged in court. Speaking in Nairobi while officiating the Eastern Africa Journalist Summit, the vocal unionist maintained that Kenya needs a constitution that favors each of her citizens, adding that tribalism has messed up the country. This comes a day after Deputy President William Ruto belittled claims by ODM party leader Raila Odinga that there will be a political tsunami in the country ahead of the 2022 general elections. Doli Mwirigi has this report.
Consider what the judge said in respect of this issue.
The landmark High Court judgment against the Building Bridges Initiative has rightly been hailed as the unprecedented judicial triumph it is. The judgment presents Kenya with a unique political crisis, with the year 2022 which might make 2007 look like a walk in the park as the country glares into the election with the political crisis for Kenya.
We need to re-examine it.
Speaking on Monday in Nairobi during the Eastern Africa Journalist Summit, the COTU Secretary General Francis Atoli has once again challenged the BBI ruling by the High Court, which he claimed was tribalistic, expressing confidence in the Court of Appeal to overturn the stoppage of Building Bridges Initiative, which the High Court nullified last month.
We can say this cake is big, let it be distributed to tribes, because this is a tribal country. And you accept tribalism positively, and you will never fight. And stupid tribalists, when we want to work on the constitution, they move to court. When we start dying, it is not them. It's our children, it's workers, it is women. And those who have money, they fly away. And somebody is telling you it is not constitutional. And the constitution is a paper that we wrote. And we as workers, we participated.
Deputy President William Ruto on Sunday responded to the statement by ODM party leader Raila Odinga that there will be a political tsunami in the country before and after the much-awaited 2022 general election. In his response to the ODM leader, the DP told his opponent that he is not afraid of anything, saying he had also organized himself well for the presidential due.
Mtu asiwatie hofu kwamba pengine kukaenda, kukaharibika. Haiwezi kuharibika. Because we believe in God. And God is a God of peace and order. And there will be order and we will move forward as a country.
Raila had claimed that his political brigade was making a mighty and never-seen machine that will rush his opponent, adding that Kenya should brace for bigger political formation that will shape the destiny of the country.
We are confident that through this competent team, we are going to succeed. That BBI is going to move forward.
DP Ruto's agenda has been challenged with the BBI supporters, saying his proposed bottom-up economic model could not address the challenges facing the country.
And if you are born here like me, I know everybody in the system. And when I tell you so and so is bad, you say, oh, Atwoli has abandoned the workers. He's now talking about politics. Bad politics breeds bad life.
But according to the DP, his economic approach remains the only viable avenue to address the challenges facing the majority of Kenya as a grassroots. All eyes in Kenya are on the BBI ruling case ahead of the much-touted 2022 general elections. Dolly Mirigi for Hope TV News Watch.
Thank you, Dolly Murigi, for that comprehensive report. A report by Mzalendo Trust titled 2020 Parliamentary Scorecard has unveiled that the number of members of the National Assembly and senators who have not been active in terms of contributing and in Parliament continues to rise. According to the report, the performance in the National Assembly with an execution of the National Assembly House leadership, 178 members spoke less than 10 times, accounting to 50% of the House. 128 members spoke about 10 to 15 times, accounting for 37%, and only 33 members spoke 50 times, accounting for 9% of the House. Our reporter Velma Mweresa has more.
You have worked with Honorable Jakoyo.
According to the 2020 Parliamentary Scorecard report, a total number of silent members in the National Assembly was 31 in 2020, contrasting with the 21 members of 2019, thus indicating a rise by 10 members. With this, a number of 8 members whose names appeared to pitch up as silent members of the Parliament include Makadara Member of Parliament George Aladwa, Abdi Shuria of Balambala, Imran Okot of Kibera, Amina Gedo of Mandera, Oscar Sudi of Kapseret, Rose Momo of Makueni, Alfred Sambu of Webuye East, and Kilgoris Member of Parliament Gideon Conchela. In the Senate, silent members according to the Mzalendo Watch report include Baringo Senator Gideon Moi and Kajiado Senator Philip Mpayei. The 2020 Parliamentary Scorecard report shows that the National Assembly silent members include Makadara Member of Parliament George Aladwa, Asha Mohammed of Mombasa, Rose Mumo of Makueni, Jane Chebaibai of Elgeyo Marakwet, Anab Gure of Garissa, Fred Ouda of Kisumu Central, Ernest Kivai of Vihiga, Jane Jiru of Embu County, Irene Kasalu of Kitui, and Lilian Tom of West Pokot, among others. According to the report, top-performing members of the National Assembly include Sabina Shege of Murang'a County, Kimani Ichung'wa of Kikuyu, Joseph Limo of Kipkelion East, Millie Odhiambo of Suba North, Chris Wamalo of Kimimini. Top Senate members who made the most contributions include Nairobi Senator Johnson Sakaja, Samson Cherargei of Nandi, Moses Wetangula of Bungoma, Lendama Olekina of Narok, and Irungu Kangata of Murang'a. According to the 2020 Parliamentary Scorecard, the top most active and contributing women representatives respectively are Woman Representative of Murang'a Sabina Wanjiru Chege, Gladys Wanga of Homa Bay, Rueda Mohammed of Lamu, Fatma Gedi of Wajir, and Florence Mwikali of Busia. According to the report, a number of major issues arise during the 2020 parliamentary session, and these include impeachments, corruption,
national response to COVID-19 pandemic, food security, human rights violation, police brutality, healthcare, youth employment, revenue sharing formula, among others.
I believe that I'm standing here this evening.
Velma Muresa, Hope TV, Newswatch.
Now from Parliament, let's head to politics once again. Former Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Mwangi Kiunjuri, who is now the party leader of the Service Party TSP, has expressed concerns following reports that the current Jubilee government plans to extend its 10-year rule. This follows statements by Kotu boss Francis Atwoli that if BBI fails, President Uhuru Kenyatta will extend his term until the proposed constitutional changes are achieved. Kiunjuri has threatened to move to the Supreme Court to seek advisory over this issue. Patroba Ojuang with more.
The Service Party leader, Mwangi Kiunjuri, has said that the party will be moving to the Supreme Court to seek help and advice on an alleged plan by the current government to extend its term in office. At the Supreme Court, the former Cabinet Secretary has said that the party will be seeking an advisory whether the Building Bridges initiative can be a good excuse to extend the life of the current government.
There is no extension of the term of governors, MPs, or the president. The constitution is very clear. And very soon, we are going to move to Supreme Court. We are going to move to Supreme Court for advisory on the issues constitution. We shall be asking we shall be asking the Supreme Court to tell us a few questions. Advisory on whether BBI can be a good excuse to extend the life of this government.
Central Organization of Trade Unions Kotu Secretary General Francis Atwoli recently said that President Uhuru Kenyatta would extend his term if the BBI failed to sail through. Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission has also expressed concerns that it is facing various challenges, including lack of finances to prepare for the 2022 polls. IEBC cited inadequate budgetary allocations, short timelines, and several legal hurdles as major impediments towards overseeing a credible, free, and fair general election. In particular, IEBC says constrained budget allocations had stalled priority activities, including maintenance and update of election technology. According to Kiunjuri, there are issues that are more important than the BBI.
Kwa sababu tunajificha tu kwa hii maneno ya BBI nini. But again, we have to know that kuna other issues that are more important than BBI. What is important today is the government to ensure they give money to the governors, so that governors can pay suppliers, governors can pay contractors, and money can get to our pockets.
Kiunjuri was speaking over the weekend in Limunga village in Marmanet ward of Laikipia County during the funeral service of the late Sophia Nyambura Kimani, the mother of Marmanet ward MCA Simon Nyakanyutu, where a section of leaders from Laikipia County called for unity of purpose for leaders from Mount Kenya region ahead of the forthcoming general elections.
Ni lazima tujipange na vyama vyetu. Ni lazima tuweze kujua kwamba wale watu ambao wanaitwa kwenye meza, wale ambao wanataka kuunda serikali, ni lazima wawe sawasawa katika vyama. Na kwa sababu leo nimeona tu pate leader mmoja hapa Mwangi Kiunjuri, mimi ningekuomba jambo moja, ya kwamba wewe ni mtu mwenye bidii. Utakapoweza kupata waheshimiwa wako 20, 40, wewe ukiwa katika serikali hiyo, lazima muhakikishe watu wa Mount Kenya wanaketi sawasawa.
Ningeshawishi viongozi wote, let us learn the art of political compromise. Hiyo ndio inaendesha Kenya yetu mbele. Let us accept that we need one another. Hakuna Kenya utakaa wewe peke yako ati mwenzako atahama aende wapi. We are all Kenyans. Let us learn, in the name of God, let us learn to live together in harmony and compromise.
Patroba Ojuang, Hope TV Newswatch.
The African governments have been challenged to give media houses freedom of work and better working environments so as to enable journalists to play the key role of informing the society. Speaking during the official opening of the Eastern African Journalists Summit, which is a week-long summit that has kicked off in Kenya's capital, Nairobi, Kotu Secretary General Francis Atwoli also urged journalists to stand up and reclaim their position in the country with fear, and further asked media owners to pay journalists well as they deserve it.
So we are asking you to stand up for your rights, and particularly you people in the world of information. Use your pens very well. Use your pens to unearth what are the ills. And I want to tell you what. You cannot continue crying, being paid peanuts in a country that has potential. We have a lot here that you people can be well paid, everybody can be driving, you can live well and export and assist Tanzania, Uganda, and Burundi, Rwanda. You can lead and do it. 59 years of independence. You are still languishing in this squeezed city. Nairobi is so squeezed. It must be decongested.
To education matters now, and a selection panel tasked with recruiting 5 new commissioners of the Teacher Service Commission (TSC) has been sworn in. The Public Service Commission (PSC) Vice Chairperson Charity Kisoto led the swearing-in ceremony of the 8 commissioners, who include Thomas Kayor, Dr. Mary Gaturu, Charles Mutinda, Njoki Kahiga, Margaret Lilan Geno, and Richard Kibagendi. Other members include Dr. Helen Hazel Misenda, Evan Putuni Nyoike, and Professor Stanley Waudo. The 8 will oversee the recruitment of qualified persons who will replace Commissioners Mbarak Twahir, Kinoti Imanyara, Bitus Ado, Albert Kirapa, and Tache Golo after their term at TSC expired in March this year.
The exercise is a critical one because of the transition that is coming out in terms of the CBC curriculum, and also to the fact that currently the Teacher Service Commission has 4 commissioners, having selected or presented the names of the previous candidates. That His Excellency the President was gracious enough to forward to Parliament, and Parliament approved that. We trust that the same will be repeated as we continue with the process from today. The plan is structured according to the TSC Act of 2012, which specifies how the process is supposed to run. And that will require an advertisement which will come. It will also require the names which will be published, but that will come in as per the Act. And the Act stipulates every step that we'll be able to take, because that is what is expected of the process in identifying and a selection as per the rule of law. So the panelists and the selection process will be guided by the structure which is already there. And the faithfulness that we'll do to that is to make sure that that is followed.
Interior CS Dr. Fred Matiang'i today made an impromptu visit to the Immigration Department at Nyayo House in Nairobi to monitor the progress of the recently launched Rapid Results Initiative for Citizenship Registration, the 60 days program, which was launched on May 26th. Seeks to speed up the process of giving citizenship and permanent residency to deserving individuals, and will end on July 31st. The CS received debrief from the Immigration Department Director General Alexander Muteshi and testimonials from residents and non-residents, and expressed satisfaction at the level of service delivery and transformation in the Immigration Department. Now let's go for a short commercial break. We will be back with more.
Next on Chiriku.
My cousin Daisy is getting married to a thug. Someone's got to keep this secret. And someone's got to pay for it.
Why do you suddenly think that Ruby can come and live with us? You know our history with them. Why would you do this?
I mean, we worked extra hard, so hard to get me here. A perfectly has messed up.
God, I pray for my wife, Lord. May you heal her. May you bless her womb.
The reason why we are here is to get answers. Have you ever thought you could be the problem?
Why do you need a parent when apparently you can hire one?
Nasikia unataka kutengeneza pesa.
Catch this inspiring drama series only on Hope TV every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. and repeats on Sunday at 1:30 p.m. Don't miss out.
Welcome back and thank you for staying tuned with Hope TV Newswatch. Let's take a shift to COVID-19 update, whereby the country has recorded 287 new COVID-19 cases in the last 24 hours from a sample size of 2,699, with the positivity rate now at 10.6%. From the cases, 280 are Kenyans, while 7 are foreigners, with 170 being males and 117 being females. This now brings the total number of positive cases to 1,182,884, and the cumulative tests conducted so far stands at 1,945,736. 152 patients have recovered from the disease, with 84 from home-based isolation care, while 68 are from various health facilities. Total number of recoveries in the country now stands at 124,588, with 90,074 from home-based care and isolation, while 34,514 are from various health facilities. On a sad note, the country has lost 17 patients with the disease in the last 24 hours, with the total fatalities now standing at 3,612. The Kenya Medical Research Institute, KEMRI, has developed a virus transport media for COVID-19 materials to the lab for people who require to be tested for the coronavirus. The VTM was initially not available in the country, and it was impossible to import from other countries due to the pandemic. Kilifi KEMRI Center Acting Deputy Director Sam Kariuki said since it was difficult to get the VTM, they had to import their own transport media, which is now being exported to countries across Africa.
Virus transport media is a medium that is used for transporting materials to the lab from individuals who require to be tested for COVID-19. So that material was not there. We didn't have. We tried importing, it was impossible because nobody was exporting things. The same way you see that nobody wants to export vaccines, because their countries have problems. They want first to deal with their populations. So even for this media, we couldn't get anywhere. So we had to innovate our own transport media, and now we are exporting it to countries in the region. So for us, it's a big moment, and it's a big, I would say, achievement for KEMRI, because we have now been taught to look inwardly for our own solution.
Julius Onyundu Gatonga, a man believed to be the world's oldest man, was on Saturday buried at his home in Gituraini village, Irugi ward of Nyeri County. As per his identity card, Gatonga, who died last Monday at Mukurweini Hospital at the age of 137 years, was born in 1884 and has lived all his life eating traditional foods, a teetotaler, man who never drinks alcohol, and a non-smoker. Tiffany Wambui tells us more about this story.
Described as a supercentenarian, the late 137-year-old Julius Wanyondu Gatonga is reckoned as the oldest man to ever have walked on earth. Gatonga was a non-smoker, one who never found joy in alcohol, and consumed traditional foods, all which are elements that constituted to his long life. During his funeral service at the PCEA Mihuti Parish, speakers eulogized him as just, unique, loving, intelligent, unifying, useful, and servant spirit.
There are so many lessons that we can learn from this Mzee Wanyondu, who has lived 137 years. But the most important trait is that this man feared the Lord, and he walked in a close fellowship with the Lord until his last breath.
His son, Jackson Gatonga, aged 77, attributes his father to being a lover of peace and one who encouraged his children to follow in his footsteps.
Tumekaa naye miaka yote hiyo, na nikizaliwa bado alikuwa mzee hapa tulizaliwa. Na alikuwa naye alikuwa anatoa na tushauri vizuri sana. Alikuwa hataki vita, alikuwa hataka watu wakae na amani kila wakati.
According to the family, no DNA test was conducted to predetermine his age before he died, hence not being officially recognized as the world's oldest man. Currently, the world's oldest living person is Kane Tanaka, a Japanese woman aged 117. Gitonga is survived by 2 sons, 4 daughters, 29 grandchildren, 67 great-grandchildren, and 6 great-great-grandchildren. Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Tiffany Wamboi.
Now, back to education matters, and Ganze Member of Parliament Teddy Mwambire said that plans are in progress to open the first ever teenage mother school in his constituency. The school, which is to be opened on August 2nd this year, will see teenage mothers allowed to breastfeed their children during breaks. The lawmaker was speaking after officially laying the foundation of 3 classrooms at Mandamani. Ganze constituency in Kilifi County has had challenges of high teenage pregnancy cases, which have led to an increased number of girls dropping out of schools.
Kuna matumaini makubwa kwamba kufikia tarehe 2 mwezi wa 8 mwaka huu tutaanza rasmi ufunguzi wa shule ya wasichana wale ambao walijifungua wakiwa shule. Itakuwa sehemu inaitwa Kafuloni ndani ya hii ward ya Sokoke. Mipango inaendelea na tulikuwa tunahitaji mapeni kidogo tu ya kujenga madarasa mengine kama 3 katika shule ya msingi ili tutoe wale wanafunzi ambao walienda kuingia ile madarasa ya shule ya upili, na kuna mipangilio mingi ambayo tunaifuatilia kuona kwamba ile shule itaanza, basi ile shida nyingine tuweze kuzifuatilia ikiwa wanafunzi wako pale. Kwa hivyo sasa tuko katika harakati ya kuweza kupata baadhi ya wale wanafunzi. Kuna wengine tayari tumewapata na wanajitayarisha ili kuhakikisha kwamba shule inaanza. Kwa hivyo ile mijengo mingine itakuja ikiwa wanafunzi tuko nao. Kwa hivyo si uongo, itakuwa shule ya kwanza hapa Kenya, shule ya upili ya kiserikali inayoweka wanafunzi ama inayofundisha wanafunzi ambao walipata mimba wakiwa shuleni, na watakuwa pale na watoto wao, na pia watapatiwa nafasi ya kwamba ikiwa ni wakati wa mapumziko wataenda kunyonyesha watoto wao alafu warudi darasani.
Watoto ni wengi, madarasa ni kidogo, madawati pia ni kidogo. Kwa hivyo kuna uhitaji zaidi ya kwamba madarasa yaongezwe, madawati pia yaongezwe ili watoto wetu wao wanakaa mahali pazuri, wanapata elimu nzuri na waweze kufaulu ili wawe viongozi wema.
Still in the coastal region, Taita Taveta County will have its diverse residents continue coexisting as boundary issues continue being streamlined. The county's land CC Mwandawiro Mganga refuted claims by land CS Farida Karone that Mtito Andei area is not within Taita Taveta borders. According to the CC, the main aim of knowing boundary extents is to purely and accurately know where the county is so as to provide services to its people. The county government of Taita Taveta has been having boundary disputes with Makueni, Kajiado and Kwale neighboring counties.
Ile maji tunategemea sana na hii maji ya hii mto inaitwa Mwanyani. Na Machakos water and sewerages are even not supporting our problem. We have been suffering for a long time. We have been using this water since 1971. We have been using it in domestic use and many other home purposes. But nowadays, we are not doing anything because of pollution. Ile imefanywa na watu wa Machakos water and sewerages. Kwa hivyo nauliza serikali tafadhali. Hapa tunakaa kama hatuna serikali kabisa kabisa. Hata our MCA amekimbia, hata he does not address this problem of this river. Wakati alikuwa anaitisha kiti, alikuwa anasema apewe siku 100 ndio aondoe hii sewage hapa, ndio tuendelee na kutumia maji mzuri. Lakini hakuna kitu amefanya kabisa.
Residents of Kathayoni area in Machakos sub-county have come out to protest over spilling sewage to rivers that supply water for domestic use in the area following construction of a nearby road. Residents led by community leader Mwasia claim their grievances have been landing on deaf ears.
Ile maji tunategemea sana na hii maji ya hii mto inaitwa Mwanyani. na Machakos water and sewerages are even not supporting our problem. We have been suffering for a long time. We have been using this water since 1971. We have been using it in domestic use and many other home purposes. But nowadays, we are not doing anything because of pollution. Ile imefanywa na watu wa Machakos water and sewerages. Kwa hivyo nauliza serikali tafadhali. Hapa tunakaa kama hatuna serikali kabisa. Hata our MCA amekimbia, hata he does not address this problem of this river. Wakati alikuwa anaitisha kiti, alikuwa anasema apewe siku 100 ndio aondoe hii sewage hapa, ndio tuendelee na kutumia maji mzuri. Lakini hakuna kitu amefanya kabisa.
Sawa ndivyo. Now, Tanzania has announced its first ever COVID-19 statistics for the first time ever over a year. So, President Samia Suluhu says 100 cases have been recorded since the third wave of struck across the globe. Samia's administration says it will spend at least $470 million in purchasing vaccines, bailing out sectors severely hit by the pandemic. This is the first time Tanzania is announcing COVID-19 statistics since May last year.
Nilipoingia madarakani nilitamani tushughulike na hili jambo kama linavyoshughulikiwa ulimwenguni, na kwa hiyo nikataka kujua ukubwa wake na tunalo hili janga ndani ya nchi kiasi gani. Nikaunda kamati ya wataalamu ambao niliwapa wiki 3, wakaenda wakafanya, wakaleta ripoti ya kwanza. Walipoleta ripoti ya kwanza kwa muda ambao niliwapa, nikawapa tena kazi. Nikamwambia sasa kajipangeni tena. Tuambieni kitaaluma kabisa tunakwenda kulishughulikia vipi. Hasa tunavyokwenda huko kwenye mambo ya chanjo kama dunia inavyotaka. Tunakwendaje? Tunazipataje? Na ni zipi ambazo tunatakiwa kama kuzinunua au kuziomba, ni zipi? Tunaziwekaje? Uwezo wetu ukoje wa kustore hizo chanjo na mambo kama hayo. Na hiyo kazi niliwapa kama mwezi mmoja, wiki 3 mpaka mwezi mmoja. Wamekwenda, wamejipinda, wametuletea. Juzi tulikaa kwenye baraza la mawaziri kujadili sasa yale tulioletewa. Na maamuzi yetu ni kwamba twende na dunia inavyokwenda, lakini tulichokiona ni kwamba wimbi la kwanza lilituathiri Tanzania, lakini si kwa kiasi kikubwa, kwa sababu tulichukua hadhari zote. Wimbi la pili limetuathiri Tanzania kidogo kikubwa kuliko lile wimbi la kwanza, na sasa wimbi la 3 tayari limepiga ulimwengu, linakwenda. Nataka niwe mkweli, Tanzania tuna wagonjwa katika hili wimbi la 3. Paka taarifa nilizozipata juzi, nadhani kuna wagonjwa kama 100 na kati yao si chini ya wagonjwa 70 na wako kwenye matibabu ya gesi, wengine wako kwenye matibabu ya kawaida. Paka takwimu za juzi. Sasa ukiangalia si wengi, lakini hatuna budi kujikinga wasiongezeke. Tujikinge wasiongezeke. Kwa hiyo hatua tuliochukua kwanza, tuliamua kwamba twende na ulimwengu unavyokwenda, tuchanje. Na tuchanje kwa hiari. Tanzania anayetaka atachanja, asiyetaka atajisikiliza nafsi yake. Paka atakapotaka kuchanja basi atachanja. Kwa hiyo tumesema kwanza tuchanje. Na tumeamua hivyo kwa sababu gani? Watanzania wengi ambao ni wafanya biashara wameshakwenda kuchanja. Wametoka nje ya nchi na wamekwenda kuchanja. Wengine wamechanja Dubai, wengine wamechanja Afrika Kusini, wengine wamechanja wapi, huko wanakokwenda wamechanja. Na wako hapa wanakwenda vizuri, wanakwenda na shughuli zao. Kwa tukasema chanjo sasa itakuwa si lazima, ni hiari ya mtu. lakini tukakubaliana kwamba international community tuziruhusu zilete chanjo zao wakishirikiana na wizara yetu ya afya na wataalamu, zipokewe, ziwekwe, zichanjwe chini ya usimamizi wa wataalamu wao na wetu, halafu wakimaliza.
Apologies for the mix-up of the footage clip that's played earlier. Now, let's go back to our Taita Taveta story, whereby the county will have its diverse residents continue coexisting as boundary issues continue being streamlined. The county CC for Lands, Mandawiro Maganga, refuted claims by Lands CS Farida Karone that Mtito Ande is not within the Taita Taveta borders. According to the CC, the main aim of knowing boundary extents is to purely and accurately know where the county is so as to provide services to its people. The county government of Taita Taveta has been having boundary disputes with Makueni, Kajiado and Kwale neighboring counties.
Ni muhimu sana kwa serikali ya kitaifa na taasisi husika zihakikishe kwamba mipaka kati ya counties zinaainishwa. Sio tu kwamba ni kwa sababu tunataka kuleta masuala ya kikabila, hapana. Sisi hatukizungumzia mipaka kama sisi msimamo wetu wangu waziri wa ardhi, hata msimamo wa governor. Wakati nazungumzia habari ya mipaka kati ya Taita Taveta County na county majirani zetu, tunazingatia kwamba mambo ya kujua ni wapi Taita Taveta County itakuwa inatoa huduma na ni wapi Taita Taveta County itakuwa ikichukua kodi ya kufanya huduma hizo. Kwa hivyo ndio nasema la muhimu, lazima tuwaweke watu wetu pamoja. Sio kwa ajili ya makabila, Wakamba walioko sehemu zetu, Wataita walioko sehemu zetu, makabila zingine walioko sehemu zetu wanataka kujua huduma inatolewa mpaka wapi na Taita Taveta County, na vile vile watu wetu ambao wanaishi hapo Wakamba wale wanajua hata Makueni wawe na haja watatoa huduma mpaka wapi. Sasa kuna mazungumzo tuko nayo na Kwale, na hata mazungumzo yale tulifanya na Kajiado yalifaulu, tulienda vizuri sana. Ile imebaki sasa ni just nataka tuainishe pia kati yetu na Makueni County pale Mtito Ande.
Across the borders, the South African government has gone back to enforcing tight COVID-19 protocols aimed at training the spread of coronavirus, including extending curfews. While announcing the measures last night, President Cyril Ramaphosa said that restaurants will only be required to serve takeaway meals while alcohol will not be sold. The new cases are also most likely to be fueled by the new Indian variant, which originated from India and is behind a wave of infections around the world. South Africa recorded more than 15,000 new cases Sunday, including 122 deaths, bringing its total fatalities to nearly 60,000.
Visits to old age homes, care facilities and other congregant settings will be restricted. Restaurants and other eateries will only be permitted to sell food for takeaway or delivery. This is because it is not possible for patrons at restaurants to wear masks while eating or drinking in these establishments. The closure of schools and other educational institutions for the winter holidays will be brought forward. Schools will start closing from this coming Wednesday, the 30th of June, and all schools will be expected to be closed by the end of the week on Friday. Contact classes at tertiary institutions will end by Wednesday, the 30th of June, with limited access to the institutions. Residencies, however, will remain open at those institutions. The Ministers of Basic Education and Higher Education, Science and Innovation will provide further details on these arrangements.
Still on the international scene, Pope Francis held a face-to-face meeting with the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who is on a tour of the Europe, to set a different tone of relations since President Joe Biden took over. Blinken arrived at the Vatican, where he was ushered into the private talks, which were said to center around areas of mutual interest.